SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Good morning, good morning, Ola Ikaraji. It's good to see you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Pleasure.
Yes, we missed you last Monday, and we hope you're well. Hope the weather is not hard on you.
Well, thank you.
Good. It's good to see you.
I'm very well, thank you.
I was all alone here, but I just showed up and did my thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to have you. Viewers, you're tuned into Wednesday, 10th of September, 2025, and I'm here with Raji, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Raji, how is it? We are hearing the news of the NUPENG. NUPENG suspends the strike as the union reached agreement with the Dangote refinery. So what's that news? We thought today would have started the strike.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It's good news. It's good news that they suspended their strike.
Okay.
They actually wanted to go on strike just to protect their own interests.
Okay.
But I think the business plan that Dangote was offering them was offering the petrol stations was better for them, for the petrol stations, than for NUPENG. Because NUPENG is a channel through which petrol products are supplied to stations. And it's actually good that Dangote is offering them that bridge, because it now saves them from saves petrol stations from depending on a link that could be broken at any time.
Okay.
Now you have a supplier assuring you of constant supply through his own channels. That you can't get much more assurance of supply chain continuity than that. But because of their own interests, NUPENG is becoming like a stumbling block to the supply chain, just like the national grid.
National grid issue. Let me introduce our viewers to the topic. Our viewers, you're tuned into Wednesday SSM African Update, and we're talking about NUPENG. NUPENG is the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers. So there was supposed to be a strike, a protest, but they called it off because they reached a deal. It was a closed door deal, like you can see there. People in there, they reached a closed door meeting with the Dangote refinery people, and that meeting was actually convened by the DSS, so that there will be peace. So, and it was attended by Minister of Finance and some representative of the Labour Congress. So anyway, MOU, Reggie, they said MOU were signed also. And some of those MOU agreed that there will be unionism at both sides, both angles of employees between Dangote Refinery and the NUPENG people. So do you think the idea of a MOU is good? Will that secure the agreements?
Well, I don't really know the details of the MOU, but another suggestion I could make is that rather than NUPENG continuing with their mostly old tankers why don't they merge with Dangote refinery and take over the supply chain and be a part of
Okay.
Dangote, so that yes, so that there will be an independent part of Dangote instead of being so employees in Nupeng, drivers in Nupeng could be employed by Dangote to drive his vehicles, and then a better MOU could be between them. You know, when you have a unionized supply chain,
Yes.
it's likely to break down at any time when the demands of the people in the supply chain are not met, and they could hold the whole country to ransom. Yes.
They could hold the whole country to ransom. Anyway, what we seek for our citizens of Nigeria is smooth operation, smooth running of all of these sectors: the oil sector, the Dangote refinery, the Nupeng, and everybody smooth running, so the masses can enjoy good life. I mean, the other time we were talking of the age longevity of the average Nigerian that has fallen. And these are all part of the reasons. The suffering is too much. The value of life is reducing. So if all of these sectors are handled well, I know things will go well. Thank you, Raji, for that update. Raji, let's talk about something that is off the topic, but it's vital. Schools have resumed. Secondary schools, primary schools have resumed in Nigeria, and but people are saying they are resuming to a biting economy. How can parents cope? The cost of some students transporting to school, the cost of having them have lunch during break, taking care of their school fees, and all of that. Raji, how will parents survive the school calendar, the new school calendar?
Man, this is a very interesting topic and very incisive. Now, most public schools are in ramshackles. Most public schools. Therefore, most parents are now forced to go to private schools. Most of these private schools are no better. Most of them are no better than the public schools. But because the parents have an assurance that at least there will be some education given to their children, and because they are paying fees, they believe that they don't have any more responsibility on their children other than for the school to take up that some other responsibility that they could have been taking. The whole structure is crumbling, and it will be good. At a symposium, I have suggested that why don't parents take ownership of public schools around them, so that they can send their children to those public schools and invest in those public schools so that their children will have better education, instead of taking them to private schools where they are charged a lot. And then you are not even sure that they will get good education. So it is possible, if there should be a public-private partnership in the giving of education. You know, another killing thing is the concept of free education for most primary schools. That concept of free education, if the government doesn't handle it well, the students will not get any education. But if the parents of the children who are going to these public schools, which have been seeded mostly to the poor in the community, if the parents take ownership of those schools, richer parents around the estates, around where the schools are, could also take interest in those schools to ensure that their children, if they go to those schools, will be given good education. And then there should be some payment. There's no relief for the parent whose child goes to a free school, because it is a public school. Even the teachers are not well remunerated, and therefore they will not give their best. So the children just go to school and there's hardly any education for them in the public schools, because the parents do not.
Oh, there, Raji, this is good update you're giving us. So, it's a situation of dog eat dog, like they will say. I mean, if the government is not taking care of the government school, and the private schools also do not meet up to standard, it's sad. But this is what parents have to face. Parents now have to face all of this, coupled with some parents probably are not employed. They're not gainfully employed. Some parents have to juggle between taking care of the children and going to work and all of this. It's really hard. It's hard, Raji. It's really, really hard. We want to thank you for that off the hook information you've given us. School resumes amid biting economy in the midst of bad economical structure. Parents have to now take care of their words, their children going back to school. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Yes, welcome back, viewers. Yes, we go to other topics. Sorry for that small hitch,
Yes,
Raji.
yes.
But what you were saying, what you were saying earlier on, like I said to the viewers, is very, very crucial. I know it's a topic that is off the hook of the list, but you said it so well. So we want to really buttress on this, because I mean, what's the essence of having a child and you can't give that child proper education? What's the essence of bringing a human being into this world and you struggle to give her or him education, Braji? So that school resuming and the economic situation is really serious. It's a serious thing
It's
to
very,
think
very serious,
about.
yes.
And what is our government doing? How does the government see all of this? The government schools that are not well equipped, the teachers are not well paid, are not paid on time. All of this, what are they doing, Raji? Is there any solution? Is there anything you've heard?
As long as it is free education, with the economy as it is and for government fundings, there will be a serious problem in the educational system.
Oh, yeah.
Let parents also take a certain level of responsibility in paying some fees.
Okay.
I went to a seemingly free education school in my primary school, and in my secondary school we were giving free books. Those free books that were given,
You school in
you have the
Ghana,
books,
or is it
and
in
every
Ghana
year.
or in Nigeria?
Yeah,
Was that
yes, in Ghana,
okay?
the
So you had
schools
free
that were
education
the books
that
that
time.
are going to be given,
Mm-hmm.
yes, at that time. Now, in the schools, the books that you are going to be you'll be given are for you to use for a year, and then you
Okay.
pass it on to the next to the next person who's coming to take over your class.
Okay.
There's a badge, there's a page in the book where you fill your name and the year you used it. So the next
Mm-hmm.
person will also fill his name and the year he used it. If anything happens to the book during your year, you have to replace that book. So that's a lot of relief for the for the
Yes,
for the um, for the
that's a
parents.
lot of relief.
Now,
Yes.
apart from that, there should be some certain, yes. Apart from that, there should be a certain levy that the
Mm-hmm.
parents must pay to the school, so that they can sustain they can sustain the seemingly free education that you are being given.
Okay. Okay.
Because the government cannot take over everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Yes. So sustaining that free education is key.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Raji. Raji, thank you very much once again for that insight. Raji, let's look a little into our senator, the lady Natasha, the senator from Kogi Central. Once again, she's been blocked from returning to the Senate, to her office. Yesterday, she was supposed to resume her duties, but they blocked her again. I think this is about the third time or the second time she's been rejected from entering. Somehow, don't you see that it is also jeopardizing her people, her constituents, the people she represents? Now, nobody is speaking up on their behalf in the House. What do you say about this, Raji? Is it something that should be done to her and her people?
You see, Nigerian situation is quite funny. When a person is elected into office by a constituency, is there to represent that constituency. No other power apart from the electorate. Nobody else apart from the electorate has the power to remove him from that chamber, because he's not representing anybody but his electorate. Okay, now if for whatever reason the Senate has certain ground rules, that should not displace or remove from the electorate their responsibility of choosing a candidate, a person to represent them. So whatever happens in the Senate should not affect the right of the electorate to choose their representative. Now, Nigerian situation is quite funny. Her suspension from the Senate is intrinsically illegal, because the Senate, by suspending her from representing her people, are removing their right to choose their representative. Now, agreed that okay, we all submitted to the dictatorship of the Senate. She was supposed to have been to go on suspension for 6 months. Is the 6 months not over?
It's over.
6 months is over. Yes, there's nothing again that should stop her from resuming, unless there's a diabolical attempt to stop her from representing her people. Her people. Yes, there was a kangaroo withdrawal thing that was done, and her people came out massively to support her. So there's no reason why it should be suspended. There's no reason why it should be refused attendance in the Senate at this moment. But then we seem to be in the dictatorship, more or less. In fact, if you look at the dictatorship of the presidency of Nigeria, it's so subtle, but it's worse than what is happening in the US. Because in the US, it is Trump is pushing it all over, and there are laws that will restrain him. But in this country, it seems as if even the executive is in control of the judiciary, and therefore there isn't much that the people will do. And it's not right for a representative of a people to be denied representation in the chamber. It's not right.
It's not right. Very, very, very wrong. Yes. Also, something that is not right that's happening is in Nepal. Raji, are you following the Nepal story? Let's see some clips from Nepal. The Gen Z has taken over, even though this morning BBC is reporting that there's stability now, there's calm. But what we saw on Monday through to yesterday was really rough. there. Sorry. So that's the Nepal video. The Nepal Gen Z, like they call them, took to the streets to protest government ban on social media. Though it's been reported that it's been lifted this morning, but the children, the youths were really angry. They went out on the street, they burnt houses, they burnt properties, and some of the government officials had to flee. They had to flee, take flight, and run away.
Bye.
So this is some of the clips we're seeing: burning of property in Kathmandu, Nepal. So we saw black smoke billowing to the sky. Government buildings and houses of political leaders were attacked around the country, the whole country. Raji, the government this morning said they lifted the ban on the social media. What triggered the thing was the ban on Facebook and all of those social handles. Then the youth said, no, you can't do this. And they went on the street en masse. Raji, do you think it's a just cause? Because they've destroyed a lot of things now. Now they have to start rebuilding. It will also affect them somehow. But anyway, they've echoed their protests. But do you think it's a justified protest in Nepal, Kathmandu?
No matter, sorry, I can't hear you very well. Now, no matter what happens, even with your right to protest, I think any protest that gets violent to the extent of destroying public property has crossed the line. And therefore, the government, in the government of the place, will have all the right and the power to protect public security, public safety, by unleashing and the counter unleashing of terror. Because violence, government has superiority of violence. And therefore, protesters should, as much as possible, not inflict violence on themselves by being violent and destructive in their protests. Every protest is legal and legitimate until it turns violent and it turns to destroying public property. Because there's no sense in destroying public property only for you. Then after the violence, what happens? The government will have to make more laws to suppress further violence in future. And therefore, with every violence, the public loses a certain level of their freedom and liberty. So we should be very careful about that. Now,
Yes.
for the government of Nepal, the world is now a global village, and what happens anywhere. So social media has become a de facto communication link between communities, between people, between countries. Therefore, any restrictions on that social media could come up with negative response from reactions from the public. And therefore, the government should, as much as possible, be mindful, yes, of the consequences of any actions that they may take in restricting liberty and freedom.
Good one. Yes, the youths were agitating against corruption too, and that also led to the ban on major social handles. Now the government said they were using the social handles to propagate falsehood and some things, but like you said, social media has come to stay, and it's very, very important tool in the hands of many people now, not only the youth, everybody. So banning it obviously will have some fierce reaction. Okay, thank you, Raji. Raji, we're moving fast. Let's look into Hamas and what happened yesterday. Israel struck Hamas in Doha. That's the capital of Qatar. There was a meeting going on and Israel said that meeting had all the leadership of Hamas, and some of them were those people they are looking for. So they struck and killed six. Hamas came later to say that the strike didn't affect much, didn't do much damage, even though it scattered the building, and but it didn't get the targets. Their leadership are all safe and sound. Raji. So it is now a do or die affair. This is it. Tell us, what did you hear about that strike yesterday?
So what right has Israel to unilaterally decide who and where is going to strike? How can you invade a sovereign nation because you are looking for something or the other? Israel has become a law unto itself, unrestrained terrorist.
Unrestrained terrorist.
Yes, because if you look at the history of the Palestinian issue, you will notice that every person, as far back as 1948, that have been interested in the two-state solution, in the living of the Jews and the Palestinians together as a singular country, has been killed or eliminated, even up to United Nations reps up to now. And every person, every Israeli head of state who had been interested in the peace has been killed. There's nobody who has ever been interested in peace that has not been eliminated or killed, especially those who are moderate in their views, and who are sincerely and genuinely looking for peace and for peaceful coexistence between the two groups. This is not a religious war.
It's not a religious war.
Extermination of a group of people. Now,
okay, but one of the people, one of the people,
the evil that is still happening in Gaza and the West Bank.
Okay.
At the moment, more than 98% of every structure in Gaza has been brought down. There's no habitation whatsoever in Gaza for more than 2 million people. 2 million people are subjected to starvation, clear starvation, and streamed online every day, and the whole world is quiet. What right has Israel to decide who to kill? What right has Israel to say?
One of the people.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay. Anyway, one of the target was, as according to Benjamin Netanyahu, one of the target was a senior Hamas leader that they said organized the 7th October 2023 attack on Israel. And even though, like you said, nobody has a right, but I mean, Benjamin has promised he will get everybody involved in that strike. And this is what they are doing. Yes. Okay, Raji, thank you for that. Let's move on. We're taking it very fast. We might not go all the full length. Let's come to what's also happening here in Europe, in France. Yesterday in France, the French government almost collapsed. But now Emmanuel Macron has named a new prime minister, and that is Sébastien Lecornu. Sébastien Lecornu now takes the office of the new prime minister. He succeeds François Biron. Biron was ousted yesterday after losing a vote of no confidence in the parliament, in the House, and that almost collapsed the government of Emmanuel Macron. Even though the French people are still saying that they are going on a protest and they will make sure that the President Emmanuel Macron leaves office. They want to end his tenure. They want to end his government. Emmanuel Macron. So Emmanuel Macron has a lot to face now. He has to prove to the French people that this new government he just formed yesterday can push them through all the hurdles. So much protest going on in France. France has now become the epic center of protest every day. Everybody is protesting in the streets, always complaining. And this is as a result of some bad decisions, economic setback from Emmanuel Macron's government. Yes. So let's take a break. We'll be back. Thank you.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, you're welcome back to SSM Wednesday African update. To wrap it up now, we just have one more news and we'll be out. The news about Omoyele Sowore, he's been told to take back his comment on the Nigerian president. We know the man is an activist. He runs the website Sahara Report, and he speaks his mind. But now he has said some things that the government of Nigeria says diffams the president. So they told him to retake back the statement and all that went with that comment he made about the president. Omoyele Sowore. All right. So on this note, viewers, we have come. It's been a short broadcast, but at least we showed up and we did the updates. So till we come again next time, have a beautiful midweek, hump day Wednesday, midweek. Enjoy your midweek and God bless you. Bye-bye.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.